Last night was the holiday over here. They call it New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. So today's New Year's Day. I think it's something called a January 1st. And I am just thinking of my mother, Linda, told me a story of some stick guy and a judge. Now, here's what I know. There's a man who runs a tribal facility. He is somewhere. I want to say it's Cambodia, but they referred to it as Camo. It kept saying, and I said, right? Do you mean like dromedary, like? Right, that's what my guy said. You mean camel? He says, no, camel. He said his name was Massimo. And Massimo is one of the best tribal leaders, according to his people. I had asked, they had written paper about myself living in a toilet like condition, and his tribe had mistranslated because in where he was, they didn't have one. They took him to some area, and he thought it was an indoor fountain of some sort. At least that's what they had said. It gets confusing between the time patch, then it's almost like it jumps back, then it tries it again, almost like a rewinding and a fast forwarding. But that's from my perspective. With the humans and the tribal people like Massimo, time is linear. It usually moves forward and it doesn't jump around so much. Or so I was told. If you think about this, I was very little. I was probably around, I want to say 7 or 8, and I was traveling for some reason, but not with my day label, whatever. I don't know if time was on a pause. Let me think about this. He was a judge, but in tribal where he is, right? And I think that's why somewhere over there they have the Moss airport. It's an honor, or so they said, after him. However, right, I'm not big on breaking the laws of nature, unless of course it's for supplies and things. Now, the other thing was last night I put up there, I put on my paperwork, whatever, there was the laws of some United States. That gets confusing because it's U.S.A. and U.S.E., but then is it the Electoral College? Like, that's something totally different. That's not like or at least over here, I mean, they don't really teach these things, so it's hard to say. Then there's the, there was the Hebrew Hellenistic something, and where there was like a Jesus floating, I think. And then there's some other Paleo Hebrew. I mean, but again, it gets so confusing because it's like, are the artwork and the legend where they write about it, are they the same? Or have they separated them and shuffled them to get what it is that they want? Because we've been saying for a long time that man's not supposed to fly. And that was the point of... But then again, it comes into, like, right, if you walk through time and space, but that's more of a God science. And on reserve, I think, energy reserve. So, let's think about this, right? Which Massimo knew. And I said, but if I'm supposed to take care of all of your children, and you are the most important judge and tribal leader, and you won't help me out, and I look after all of the children, including yourself, how am I to help save you from death if anybody tries to hurt me in the future, if you condemn me? Right, that usually sets people straight and makes them think about their actions. Because you can be a judge. You're not supposed to be a judge, first of all, but you do need people, right? We had to come up with a linguistical process that worked for his area, so he did not lose his authority to whatever these men were that had to protect him in camp and of sorts, since he was a specialist, and we did not want to lose him. But he needed protection, and he insisted he did not, but there were others that knew things a little further away. Let's think about this. Right, so that's why with the airport thing, because he would not have been okay with that if he knew, right? If it was more than just supplies, it was for the children to fly anywhere. And this new world plan that I did not approve of, nor did any of the tribal people that knew what was going on from the accurate historical record. I'm trying to think, right? How do you restore honor to somebody, right, that has so many moving pieces and such a diverse set of circumstances and problems? That was a real challenge. It still hasn't yet to be perfected. I'm trying to think. Oh, so that's why when I do that mass, right? I said, you just think about how much time you've spent and how many good things you've done for all the people by you, and just know that that's me and my quiet jealousy that I don't have anybody like you over in my section. I was like, but for the men with the guns, it will be how much I really do hate the new children that have made it over here, that only care about money, themselves, clothing, and like vacations. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. I asked my mother, I said, just curious, I was like, when was the last time you went on vacation? And she's like, I was like, was that Rocking Horse Ranch? I think the baby was 2. We went away to ride horses for like a few days. I was like, yeah, now he's almost 9. So I said, yeah, it's been a long time. I said, I know some people, like, they plan vacations. They'll go on vacation like every month or every couple of months. They'll plan something. Some people twice a year, some people once a year. Yeah, for me, it's not even a thing. You have to have money and resources in order to go.